It's Thursday, September 4th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central. This is show number 976, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Get a managed WordPress site for just $1 a month for the first 12 months and a free domain to go along with it. Or pick up a domain name for just $1.99. All my specials can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Hey folks, Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. I've got a great show lined up for you. We got some design decisions to make tonight. And lots going on, lots to share. I've got an exciting show for you. You know what comes next. Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran. Glad to be here. Glad to be back. I have to just kind of apologize to everyone for not having a show on Monday, but it was a couple of things. Number one, with the Labor Day holiday here in the United States, it really was kind of a, I guess for a better word, kind of a offbeat weekend. There wasn't a lot of news. Plus, Hawaii's been in, I guess, what we would call in the middle of a heat wave. There's been like 100 degree, like 90 degree and 90% humidity. And I had worked basically in the studio all day Sunday, half the day on Monday, and just kind of was out of it. I just said, okay, not enough content. I'm already toast for the day. So let's just, call timeout. And that's why there was no show on Monday. But I do want to apologize for that. But, I promise you guys that as we move forward, this year especially, I've missed a few shows here and there, is that I would do that from time to time whenever I felt that, boom, there was something that needed to be done, or if there was a pressing need. I try to be here every Monday and Thursday for you. But to keep my sanity to a certain extent, with all the stuff going on, it was better, I guess, to not do the show on Monday. Now, with that being said, got some announcements here in a few minutes about some stuff that's going to happen next week. I'm pretty excited about what's forthcoming. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. But I want to give a warm welcome to all the new people that are basically tuning in the show for the very first time. I want to thank you for being here, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen or to watch me. We're going to spend a few minutes here just chit-chatting, and then we'll go ahead and get into the tech. But most importantly, we want you to take some time and get over to geeknewscentral.com. And the website's about to change, and we're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. But get over to geeknewscentral.com, get subscribed to the website, sign up for the newsletter, and really, we want you to subscribe to this podcast. And if you are on an Android device, I've been doing some research. If you have most any Android podcasting app loaded, if you click on my orange RSS feed, what will happen normally in an Android mobile device is it will pop up some choices. It'll say Chrome, maybe another browser selection if you have them, and maybe even your podcast app that you have loaded will pop up and say, hey, yes, do you want to choose me? And all you have to do is say yes. You don't even have to, you can do it just once or always, and that will load this show into your Android device. And Beyond Pod is a podcasting app that I really like in Android. And all you got to do is once that screen loads up on Beyond Pod, all you got to do is click save at the top. From then on out, you'll be subscribed to the show within that app, and we definitely want you to be subscribed to the show so you don't miss a single episode. Those of you that are on an iPhone or have an iOS device, we definitely want you just to click on the iTunes link. That'll load the podcasting app within the mobile device itself, and you can subscribe. You can watch the show on the website. Of course, you can watch us on the Roku, on Boxy, Samsung Smart TV, Google TV. on the Tech Podcast app. We want you to definitely consider watching there. That's a great place to stay connected with the show as well if you want to watch video in a kind of a kickback situation. So sometimes fun to do that on the big screen. And if you're checking the show out on the big screen, you picked a good night because we're going to give you some visuals tonight to look at before we get into the tech part of the show. Hey, you can reach me here on Twitter at Geek News, or you can email me direct at geeknews@gmail.com. Those are the two really best ways to reach out to me on the show. Some have been sending me a lot of messages via Facebook. That's cool too. And sometimes what you do is you like an article and you'll tag me in it, or you share and you'll tag me. That's a great way of basically alerting me that you found something cool on Facebook. So, of course, you can find me on Facebook as Todd Cochran. So, not too many of us in the world with that name. Fortunately, there's a few, but not too many with my ugly mug. So again, you can follow on G Plus, Facebook, and of course, again on the channels on the Roku Boxy, Samsung Smart TV, and so forth in that kickback mode. Of course, this show is sponsored tonight in part by our good friends over at GoDaddy.com. GoDaddy's been here 9+ years. Matter of fact, I was talking with my GoDaddy rep yesterday, and saying, hey, where's the new codes? And because he didn't send me anything, and I hadn't heard from him, and we're expecting to get our basically our report from August in a few days. And he said, well, they're coming in the middle of the month. And he said there's going to be some really good deals. I'm like, okay, so I guess that means the regular codes are still working. So for right now, at least until the end, basically the middle of the month, and this is what I'm being told by him, is that the promo codes that we have on with the 32% off by using the promo code GO32OFF1, the 25% off code, which is also good on the new top-level domains that are out of pre-registration, is GO25OFF5. $1.99.coms or GNC $1.99. And, of course, we've got those dollar deals, too. So you can get a WordPress managed site or a regular hosting site for just $1 a month for 12 months. That's $12 minus, well, not really minus. You get a free domain out of that, so that's a $2 or $3 value. And always take a look at the offer limitations to make sure you know what things are going to renew at after that first year, after that introductory price, and be aware of that. So again, great deals over at GoDaddy, and definitely you want to mix and match my promo codes where you feel they best fit. And again, go to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. That is the place to go for all my codes, and you'll find a deal there for you that will save you a lot of money. And we want to thank GoDaddy for being a continued sponsor here at Geek News Central as well. All right, so let's just talk just a little bit. August, I want to thank you all. We had a record month, and for a summer month, the June, July, August, for August being a record month in listenership is really extraordinary, considering that I had a couple of shows where we had guest host. It was, wow. I was really blown away by August's numbers. And it really kind of set me back a little bit because I hadn't been really paying attention to it. I'm not absorbed so much anymore in my stats. I get the emails every day that's telling me what's going on from our service, but I just generally just delete them because I'm not even too concerned about it. And then I looked at the totalized, I guess for a better word, it's the totalized total of downloads that the show had, and I was like, whoa, we had a good month. So I want to thank all the new listeners. We have a new batch of you that are on the show. We definitely want to hear from you as well. We want to get to know you. So feel free, again, to email me here at the show, geeknews@gmail.com. Tell me a little bit about yourself. And if you've been part of the Ohana a long time, I want you guys to do that too. If you haven't ever sent me an email and said, hey, Todd, this is, I'm Tony from the Bronx, or I'm Sally from Orlando, or Tim from Europe, or wherever you may be listening to this show. This show is basically listened to in over 100 countries. Obviously, Canada, United States, the UK is a large percentage of it, but we have people really from everywhere else: Australia, New Zealand, the Middle East, from India, Russia, from Japan, that listen to the show. So we want to hear from you guys, and just drop me a little note. Say, hey, Todd, I'm from, this is who I am. I really want to get to know the audience at large a lot more. and that means you dropping me an email and just saying hi. You don't have to have a comment about the show. Just give me a shout out, and I would definitely appreciate that. Okay, so let's talk about what's coming. And I've been talking about this for a while, and here's what really happened. Angelo, who is my CIO at Raw Voice, we have been, for a better word, crushed. And it's not just been weeks and weeks and weeks. We've been crushed for a while, trying to get a bunch of projects done. And I keep bugging him, when's my template going to be ready? When's my template going to be ready? He says, I don't have time. And some other things going on. And so I said, okay, fine. I'll just do something my own. So what I did, and I haven't been a big fan of Studio Press up until, I don't know why I resisted it so much. I went over their website and took a look. I purchased one of their templates and then got into it a little bit, and I was kind of disappointed. And then I saw this little add-on. It cost me $200 to buy this add-on software. That's where they get you. You know, it's $99 for the template, and then $200 for the tool that really allows you to edit the template, move things around, resize, squeeze, squish, smash, change fonts, and everything. And I didn't change a lot. I just tweaked here and there. And I moved the new media show. The new media show has been moved. And this is a work in progress. And what's cool is I can save designs. So the new media show at newmediashow.com is on its own website now. And I really, it's very kind of, you know, it's a lot different than what Geek News Central is. It's a lot cleaner. You can focus on the content more. I made a really cool page. It's a single layout page for the live stuff. And it's just, you know, it links directly from the website. Again, there's going to be some, you know, some work in progress here. And I'm kind of divided. You know, New Media Shows what Rob Greenlee and I do every Saturday. And for those of you that are listening, we want you to come over to newmediashow.com and take a look at the page. And also look at between two different sites. Look at the New Media Show and look at the Elder Divide. And I was talking with Todd over at the Elder Divide, and he likes the rounded, the beveled corners better. So I think I'm just going to allow each of the hosts to kind of pick whether they want square or beveled. I think personally I'm going to go with the square. It's kind of fit some of my stuff better. But take a peek and let me know what you think. Again, it's a very simple design. It's not at all over the top. And it's responsive, and I've got the ability, you know, by responsive, if I just take this and squeeze it, let me show you guys here. If I squeeze it, the site resizes, see, and you guys can come in on a browser, on a mobile browser, and it doesn't matter what size of a, where you're basically at in a, for a better word, on a mobile device. Doesn't matter what screen resolution you have, it'll scale. The only thing I'm not happy, I've got a big gap here on one part. I'm trying to figure out how to adjust that. So there's just a few things I'm tweaking still in spacing and maybe some of the font colors. So again, this is two different designs and two different layouts. And Geek News Central is obviously going to have a little more comprehensive stuff on it. Actually, why did let me refresh that page. There we go. He put a graphic up on his page. So again, there is, you know, some consideration here until I really can get to the point where we can do something more elaborate. I think this is what I'm going to just go with. I'm not going to fret too much more about this. I've already burnt a bunch of brain cells. And because I'm able to save the templating, I can save it and then I can export it into other sites. Now, when you guys go over there, you're going to see that we've got all the sites listed on the menu system. We got Geek News Central, the GNC Special Media Events, the Gadget Professor, Robot Underpants, the Elder Divide, and a new show listing called Health Tech Weekly. Now, Health Tech Weekly is ran by Jamie Davis, and Jamie's going to be joining the Geek News Central family. His site will probably get moved this weekend as well. We'll do the updates. Currently, Health Tech Weekly goes directly over to Jamie's own website that we haven't moved yet. And we'll be moving him over onto our platform And basically, he's going to be part of the family here. And we're excited to have Jamie on board with Health Tech Weekly. And it's another show that is going to join the family here. So we've really kind of got a techie show. We've got a gadget show. We've got a show that's reaching the folks that are going to be a little bit older. We've got the hipster crowd and Langley's going to be pissed when he hears me say that, but with robot underpants. And then we have, of course, the new media show that covers the new media stuff. And then on the health side, too. So I'm really excited about all the properties and everything that we're going to be doing here at Geek News Central, and I hope you are, too. And we may be adding one more show as well. I got to get back with the gal that's from UK that's thinking about coming on and doing a show. Should be our first international show. But if you think you want to work with me, we want to hear from you. So things are going to proceed at warp speed at this point. We're going to move quickly. And Geek News Central itself as a website is going to radically change this weekend. And it's time. Now, the only thing, Brian had done a design, and it really is at a point where, I guess for a better word, I don't know if I want to use the new logo that he provided me. And so what I'm looking for, and I thought maybe I'd just go over and do a Fiverr thing over on Fiverr.com and really, think about, okay, am I going to, and I'm trying to log into a site here because I got to give you guys the sizes. Hang on. See if I can type this right here without blowing this. And, of course, I got the stupid screen up again. Hang on. No, I don't want to save that. No. Okay, so, and I upgraded to WordPress 4 tonight too. So let me go over here to to the palette. And so what I need is I'm looking for a new graphic for the page. And I'm going to just open this up and let you guys see if you guys want to see if you can come up with something. And I'm looking for the size here. Oh, where is the stupid size? Am I on the right site? Yes, I am. Theme settings. I've got that right. General site settings. Okay. Oh, I'm on the... Okay. That, it never fails. Here I am. Trying to tread water. But what I'll do is I will put the sizes in the show notes that I'm looking for. And basically two different sizes, and I'm actually going to find it here right now. Okay, boom, open that. Open this menu. Okay, there we go. Okay, so no. Click here. Okay, so two sizes. I'm looking for a 320 by 165 and a 640 by 330. And what I really want to do here is I want a new logo. And I want to stay with the G, but I want a twist on it. You can keep the same colors, a different color, keep the same tagline and stuff. But if you feel like you can do something really creative and submit it to the show, let's have a little logo contest, and you'll get credit for it, and we'll do something special for you. But 320 by 165, if you feel up to it, submit one of those. 640 by 330, you can do the same exact thing, just scale it up. And it's going to be for the logo that's going to go in the top left-hand corner of the new site page. And if you feel up to it, we'd love to have you design it, submit it to geeknews@gmail.com, and give it a run for the money. And let your creative juices flow. All right, I'm going to be way long here, so I need to keep moving on to tech, or you guys are going to bail on me here. All right, so anyway, that's what's going on with the site design, and we'll have more on that. So this weekend, Gadget Professor is going to move. So some stuff is going to move from one site to the other. We're actually going to move all his posts onto his own site and redirect all that. So that's going to be a big thing. Saturday morning, I think we're going to have a guest from Loveline. And if you guys don't know what Loveline is, just go ahead and Google that. So we hope to have a guest on from Loveline on Saturday. And then what's going to happen next week on 9/11? I'm pretty excited because some people are flying out to meet me and talk with me. It's a pretty big deal. Going to be doing that Thursday evening, and there will be probably no show on Thursday. And I'll get a guest host. I'll see if I can get a guest host to step in. But you guys know that for a non-holiday, it has to be a pretty important event for me not to record a show. It's all I really can say at this point. But needless to say, it is important that I have my undivided attention with these folks, and I've been preparing for a little bit here to meet with them. So I'm very excited about that, and we'll see where that leads, and more as I can tell you as we move forward. That's the extent of it. So anyway, so on next Thursday's show, a week from today, it'll be a guest host, or there'll be no show at all, but probably a guest host. I'll see what I can arrange on that. All right, so let's go ahead and see what I've got here. Hey, if you're supporting this show financially, we want to thank you for being part of our GNC 1000. And, you know, all of you that are contributing monthly, it really goes a long way. It helps a lot. It really, really does. And I definitely appreciate each and every one of you that are making a PayPal contribution each month, whether it be at the $2 level, $5 level. And, of course, we've got these great levels for our supporters of the show. And what it really means to me is that we now are, as we can start growing the number of people that are supporting the show financially, allows us to just do a few extra things each month that wouldn't have been in the budget to begin with. And so we appreciate it. So those of you that are coming in at the Warrior level at $5 a month, we thank you. Those are at the Kahuna level at $12 a month, $12.50 a month essentially. Big Kahuna is at $25 a month. The Ali is where you're coming in at almost $50 a month. We appreciate that. And then we're going to be announcing some folks that are in the Warriors Council that have already been contributing to the show for a number of years that have reached that level. But definitely consider becoming a contributor to the show at geeknewscentral.com/insider. So enough on this. Let's get into the tech, because that's what you guys came for. But also, I did good tonight in narrowing down the number of articles. But I want to start right off and just talk real quick. You know, big news, of course, healthcare.gov, better known as the Obamacare website, has been hacked. So if you have your healthcare through healthcare.gov, they're saying that they got in, but no personal HIPAA data was taken. What's weird is it says it was hacked, but no personal data was stolen, that the hacker didn't specifically target the insurance site. But they did say the hacker was able to access the health.care earlier this year, and they did upload malicious software to the insurance websites. The breach, which has only discovered by Department of Health and Human Services last week, took place in July. So think about this. They've had malicious software on their website and in the insurance companies' portals since July, and it's now September, and we're just hearing about it. And apparently the healthcare.gov servers were being used as now service attack vehicles. So anyway, that is what happened, and our government taxpayer dollars at work in securing down the website. So they're no better than anyone else in laying in security. But the big security discussion and or stories was about all these naked pictures of celebrities. And, you know, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what prompts people. First of all, taking a picture of yourself naked, I don't want to, you get out of the shower and you already cringe, you get a little older, it's not as cool. Now, I guess if I was, super buff and, had a six pack and was single, maybe I would take a little more risque picture, but I just don't get it. I really don't understand all these people taking pictures of themselves naked in their birthday suits and doing all kinds of acts, and then allowing those pictures to be, number one, uploaded to the cloud somewhere, and especially a celebrity. You're going to be a target, right? So okay, I'm not judging any of you that have, taken naked pictures of yourself and sent it to your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, or whatever. I understand keeping it real. But there is consequences for potentially doing that. And, Apple's under a lot of fire here because it was Apple users that got hacked. So Apple's saying today that it's going to add additional steps to keep hackers out of user accounts, but denied a lax attitude towards security, which has allowed intruders to post nude photos of celebrities and probably gain access to non-celebrities pictures as well. And with the iCloud accounts compromised, the hackers were correctly answering security questions. Now, here's the stupid thing. All these security questions are always the same. What was the name? What was your first car model? Where did you go to school? What was your name of your first pet? If you haven't protected that data, if you've never told anyone where you went to school, where you were born, if you've never talked about that online, maybe people would have a little harder time. But these folks are more, they're more savvy than that. They just don't they go to database records, Freedom of Information Act stuff they can get access to, public records to answer many of these security questions and what do people, what was your girlfriend's first name? And I don't know if I've ever talked about my first girlfriend ever online or in a show. But, all they have to do is maybe scour someone's Facebook list of names and take all those names and, use one till it matches. Who knows how they're going, all this social engineering. And apparently they obtain their passwords by answering security questions. And a phishing scam. He said none of the Apple IDs and passwords leaked from the company's servers. I wouldn't expect it to leak, but now he said Apple will start now alerting users via email and push notifications when someone tries to change an account password, restore cloud data to a new device when a device logs into account for the first time. Until now, users just got an email when someone tried to change a password or log in for the first time from an unknown Apple device. There were no notifications for restoring iCloud data. And Apple says it plans to start sending notifications in 2 weeks. It said the new system will allow users to take action immediately, including changing the password to retake control of the account or alerting Apple's security team. Now, obviously, the key is don't take naked pictures of yourself. And if you do, if they get out, so sorry. We live in a digital age where stuff is digitally accessed all the time. You may even accidentally post it somewhere yourself. So, beware. And email's not, email is not the safe place either because, what's the juicy stuff? Usually the juicy stuff in email is the attachments, right? Business documents, contract signings, all kinds of stuff goes via attachments. The email itself might be a little bit blasé, but definitely not some of the attached documents that go. And so, all this stuff is very, very critical. It can cause you a lot of headache. I use two-factor authentication everywhere I can. I feel it's the best line of defense. The other day I got an email. Someone was trying to change a specific password on one of my accounts. I immediately went over there and put in place a much harder password. My passwords are already hard, but I went with a longer one that was auto-generated by a program, just in case, So use some security measures as much as you can, and don't take naked pictures of yourself, okay? All right, so let's move on. Hey, most of the United States has no broadband competition at the 25 megabits per second level or higher. This is a comment that was made today by FCC's Commission Chairman Tom Wheeler. And it's obvious to all of us that we know this already, that we're basically don't have competition. The number of the numbers are okay if you use the FCC's outdated broadband definitions of 4 megs downstream and 1 meg upstream. But really, that's really not even, I would shudder to have to be at that connection speed all the time. Many of our phones, mobile phones, can achieve that type of level. But the FCC is proposing to boost the download portion of the definition to 10 megs. And considering whether to raise the upstream portion, even 10 megs per second, in my opinion, doesn't cut it in homes where numerous devices like I'm a 5-person family, and the kids are all using devices, gaming, all this stuff, and really 25 megs is where it's at. So about 80% of American homes could buy 25 megabits per second service, but generally only from one provider. At 25 megs per second, there's simply no competitive choice, Wheeler said. And then it drops. So there's 20% who have no service at all. And things get worse when you move to the 50 megs per second level, where 82% of consumers lack a choice. So, I'm on a 100 meg service right now. I get 100 down, 5 up, and happy to have it. Pay a big bunch of money for it every month. And we use every last bit of it from a feed standpoint. And I've got it to the point now where I know I can push 2 live streams at one time on the uplink, and it usually can handle it pretty good when I'm running about 1,600 megabits per second per stream. Tonight on this stream that we're pushing live, I'm pushing 18 to 2,000 megs per second, or 1,800 to 2,000. Yeah, well, it's really 1.8 to 2 megs per second. Excuse me, not 2,000. So, it's not bad compared to what we had 5 years ago. But maybe it's a hint that maybe Charter isn't going to quite get their way completely with everything that's going on in these upcoming decisions on whether or not they're going to be allowed to acquire Time Warner. Only time will tell on whether or not that decision happens. Now, to go along with the FCC chairman's comments, there's an article that basically is talking about big tech companies are planning an internet slowdown day to fight for net neutrality. Now, they're not going to slow their websites down, but participating websites, and I'm going to see if we're going to be able to do that, are going to put a widget on their website and have a big notification on the page that basically it'll show, what potentially could happen if we went into a situation where the big internet providers like Charter and Time Warner and all those groups got their way and were able to become toll trolls and basically prioritizing traffic that they want. And websites like Etsy, Kickstarter, Foursquare, WordPress, Vimeo, Reddit, Mozilla, Imager, Meetup, Cheeseburger, Namecheap, BitTorrent, Gandhi.net, StartPage, Boing Boing announced that they're going to be joining more than 35 advocacy organizations and hundreds of thousands of activists in a day of action. So you can sign up. It's called battleforthenet.com. If you want to get involved, if you have a website and you want to basically have the widget up on September 10th. So I'll be checking out more about that, but we'll be definitely reporting on it next week as it comes to fruition. Of course, now big day, big day on the 9th. And Apple is going to live stream their iPhone iWatch event. And I hope an Apple TV relaunch as well with apps. I'm going to cross my fingers again. I've been hoping for this on every announcement, but have been denied every time. So, we all know there are going to be 2 iPhones, going to have an iWatch. It's going to have conductive charging. They're going to have some ability to use the device with one hand that are bigger. So anyway, that's what's coming. They're going to have the live event. So if you want to watch September 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time to follow every move. So you're going to be able to watch live. And so Apple notes live streaming event for its website requires Safari or later Streaming via Apple TV requires a second or third generation Apple TV. So are Windows users? Maybe Windows users aren't going to be able to. So maybe Windows users maybe we're stuck. I've got a Mac here, so I'll make sure I watch it. But anyway, time is clicking. We'll see what happens then. All right, you have an account with Verizon. Verizon failed to tell 2 million customers it was using their personal info for marketing. Now the FCC is making it pay. Verizon has agreed to pay $7.4 million penalty after the company failed to tell 2 million customers they could opt out of having their personal information used for marketing purposes. The fine is the largest ever levied by the FCC on a phone company over a piracy misstep. The FCC is also requiring that Verizon notify customers about their ability to opt out of marketing on every single bill they receive. The FCC says it's plainly unacceptable for any phone company to use its customers' personal information for thousands of marketing campaigns without even giving them the choice to opt out, said Travis LeBlanc, the acting chief of the FCC's Enforcement Bureau. For 6 years, according to the FCC, Verizon failed to notice that it was sending out first-time bills to new customers that didn't include opt-out notices. It wasn't until September 2012 that the company noticed anything was amiss, and then it took another 4 months for Verizon to disclose a problem to the FCC. So, naughty, naughty, naughty. And if you have a Verizon account, you get a Verizon bill, look for those new notices on your bill on how you can opt out. Almost forgot to say, too, I'm going to have an article up on the website in the show notes. It's going to talk about the inside world where hackers trade these celebrity nude pictures. And I just don't get the fascination. You know, I really don't. But I guess some people are addicted to, you know, some of the celebrity fanfare and so forth. And they want to know everything about their celebrities that they love and cherish. It's weird. It's just weird. It really is. All right, on a real gadgety topic, Withings. And we've talked about Withings before. We've covered Withings at the Consumer Electronics Show. Withings has got some pretty cool stuff. Withings HomeKit is an integrated video monitoring and environmental sensor, and it has a device that detects crying. So Withings, of course, is known for its iPhone-connected health and fitness tracking accessories. Today announced a new video monitoring device with environmental sensors called Home. While Home is a video monitoring solution that can be used for security, the company is also including some pretty unique features that it hopes will make your home both a healthier and safer environment. For starters, the wide-angle HD camera has night vision, is also capable of detecting motion and noise. It also specifically monitors signs of distress. It also specifically recognizes crying and the presence of people. On top of that, the device includes environmental sensors for measuring various data points for things like temperature, humidity, and air quality. So for a full list, and let's see, what is the price on this thing? $219. A date hasn't been announced, but it is going to be available. Now, one thing I wanted to share with you guys, I put a couple articles up on Geek News Central that I did reviews on, and I had a great time. I think I told you on the last show that I was reviewing a monitor. And it basically was it was called, it was a health patch. And it took my vitals and a whole bunch of other cool things. And to also have a review up of the Samsung Sport. But I want to talk about this Sweet Beat Life app with the health patch. Now, let me blow this up a little bit here for you guys. Okay, there we go. And those of you that are watching, you can see the monitor. And it basically what it was is it looks like a big Band-Aid with a chip in it. Now, I'm going to come back to the camera and I'm going to hold up. I'm going to show you if you guys can get an idea. Those of you that are watching, this thing is, if you take your thumb and your forefinger and you spread it, it's about the width, probably 4 inches, and maybe an inch and a half wide. But this was the patch, and I was able to keep one patch in the package. and the chip went inside, and it had a unique mounting situation. You rolled it over; it was layered of stickum, and you took the one layer up, you put the chip in, it flashed at you, say it was alive, and then you pulled the peel for the stickum, and you put that down over. Now, when I took this off my body, it was on for about 5 days on my chest. It was mounted kind of like, if you guys are watching, kind of like that. And I actually had to shave a place on my chest to have it stick where there was no chest hair. It wanted a nice smooth surface, and of course some alcohol and make sure there was no oil remaining on the skin. But I wore this for 5 days, and it was like having my own ability to get an EKG, and it was really cool. I mean, it was incredible. I could sit here and just flip on my phone and see what my heart was doing, and gave me all kinds of readings. A lot of the stuff I just had no clue what it was telling me. I had to go on the internet and read about it, and stuff like HRV, LF, HF, ADSSD. It was a whole bunch of terms, and I'm not even going to try to describe them all to you guys. You'll have to go look at it yourself. So I thought this was pretty awesome, but I was worried about price. I had it on for 5 days, and I finally found the link on the website that talked about the pricing. And the cost of the Sweet Beat Life app was $10. The starter health patch kit is $199. And that gave you 5 of these patches. Okay, I got the super strong one. It's supposed to be for athletes, but I'm kind of a big guy, and at times I probably sweat like an athlete, which is kind of gross. But this stayed on for 5 days. They say, and in basic, I probably could have wore it for a couple more days, but it started to peel on the edges. And they say if you want a replacement kit, you get 5 patches for $99. Now, that kind of blew me away. I thought that was a little high on the price point. But I got to thinking about this a different way. If you are a serious athlete and you're training and you want to, and this is designed for people that either have heart, well, they don't claim it to be a health device at all. And basically, I put a disclaimer on the website. And let me actually read the disclaimer that I wrote. Geek News Central's review of this device does not constitute a substitute for proper medical care, and everyone and anyone experiencing any health concern should seek the treatment of a licensed doctor. Information provided in this review is meant to be informational only and not an endorsement of the device accuracy or health benefit. Okay, so let me just say that. The Sweet Meat people have almost the same type of disclaimer, but the thing was, it really did some cool stuff. I did some baseline testing, laying basically on the floor. Went brisk walking with my wife and watched the recovery time. It really kind of did give me some insight. But for someone that's an athlete, this thing could really be pretty incredible from a training aspect, in my opinion. It could be. So very, very cool. Also, I have a review up on the monoprice LED light bulbs that I bought, that I tested. And again, I've got a review up on the Samsung Galaxy S5 Sport and what I found out about that. And actually, figured out what was going on with my connectivity. I actually had something turned off I wasn't supposed to, and I turned it on. I got 4G, and the thing worked much better. So I have to retract what I said about the connection problems. It was self-induced. But anyway, a pretty good phone. And I actually, when I dropped it off at FedEx, it was kind of like, oh, that sucks. I have to turn that thing in. But that's the way it works. They're not going to let me keep a $700 phone, no matter who I am. But anyway, we want you to definitely get over to geeknewscentral.com and check out all the reviews. All right, let's talk about Facebook a little bit. I got an email from Facebook today say, hey, we're transitioning you to Messenger. And I'm like, you already did weeks ago. I'm like, screw you. I don't like the app anyway. So, why telling me what you're making me do when you've already made me do it? So they got that in email. Then I saw this article on recode.net talking about, as promised, Facebook is basically forcing people to do a privacy checkup. Facebook doesn't want you oversharing, and it's ready to prove it. The social network is asking all 1.3 billion users to complete a privacy checkup, a short online exercise where users review who they're sharing with on the platform. Facebook announced the checkup in May, but only tested it with a small subset of users over the several months. Now it's ready for full rollout. I haven't got mine yet, so I'll let you know how it goes when I do. If you get one and you've done it, did you change anything? I'd love to hear from you on what you've done there at geeknews@gmail.com. Also, if you're wanting to know more about what's going on in the security world, well, another site got hacked. Too bad. It's Coursera. Users database was basically made available within the system, and there was definitely some issues there. So if you're on Coursera, some privacy stuff has been released as far as usernames and so forth. So it's all over webpolicy.org. Also, there's a good security article talking about... I already talked about that. Let's move on. I told you I was going to put that link in the show notes. Hey, LG, they're in Berlin right now doing the IFA. And my inbox has been just like exploding the last couple of days from all the firms that are exhibiting at the IFA. But South Korean giant LG has introduced its first 8K TV. Of course, it's a prototype. Probably cost many millions of dollars to build. And but Engadget took some pictures of it, and they said the food looked absolutely delicious. Now I'm looking at the food in this picture, and I'm thinking to myself, the raspberry looks good, but the other stuff on it, I'm not sure that that's my idea of a nice dessert. It probably tastes wonderful, but it definitely has got some detail to it. And they said it was very gorgeous. Now, it's using older LCD technology, not OLED, so probably it would be a lot better if it was OLED, but it's not. So probably don't expect that in the store anytime soon. All right, let's switch gears here just a little bit and talk about the U.S. government. The U.S. government wants Kim.com's cash and cars, so they're going after his bank accounts and so forth. In a complaint filed at a Virginia federal court, the Department of Justice argues that the property Mega Upload and its founder should be forfeited as it was obtained through criminal means. So everyone's trying to get their money. Apparently, and this is the first time I've heard this, that he funneled through some Hong Kong accounts a lot more than that. From August 2007 through January 2012, he had, it's here, it's in Hong Kong dollars, is that 1,260,508,432. Again, that's on Hong Kong dollars, were funneled through a number of banks. And so the government wants the remaining $4.7 million that's in the account. And they also want his cars and everything else that went along with it. So everyone, including the MPAA and so forth, want that cash. And I don't know if he's going to be able to shelter it or not, but the government's going after it, and we'll have a ruling soon. Should not come as any surprise that Comcast and Time Warner Cable are paying nearly a dozen former FCC officials to push the FCC to approve the merger. So, wow. They don't care what the public think, but they are definitely paying previous FCC people, consisting of 40 lobbyist firm, to push lawmakers and folks to make this thing happen. They're spending a big bunch of cash. Wow, nearly a dozen former FCC officials whose job is now to help pressure their former employee into approving the proposed $45 billion merger. I wonder how much they're getting paid. I'd love to see that check. Wouldn't you guys? Wouldn't you guys like to know how much each of those folks are being paid? You know, I'm sure. Hey, let's go to dinner. I've got a proposal for you. You know, they get to dinner like, I'm going to give you $1 million. All you have to do is work for us, and then just put in a good word for us at the FCC. Think you could do that? Great. Let's have some dinner. You just wonder how much money is exchanging hands in order to get this done. How many congressional reps and senators are having their campaign coffers filled with green $100 bills to gain some favor, I guess, for a better word. So 40 different lobbying firms I guess they're trying to use a little bit of shell game here to hide this. Do you think they're going to get this through? What do you guys think? Do you think that the FCC is going to allow it? I don't think there's anything that's going to stop it, to be honest with you. I don't think they care what the public thinks. I think they're going to talk a big game, and in the end, they're going to say, "Okay, we'll let you do the deal." That's my prediction, to be quite honest with you here. All right, give you guys a little different camera angle, and see if I can remember to switch this back when I'm done. All right, Skype on iOS now allows group audio calls. So they updated it, allowing you to host a group call with up to 4 people with just a tap on your iPhone. So be aware of that. Also, the latest, there's a new article about some Snowden data, and basically involves people's personal data that he was able to, access to. Pictures and a variety of different things that people are actually kind of surprised that he was able to access. So there's a story about that on theatlantic.com. I'll have that link up in the show notes. Also appears that we're going to have a close call here on Sunday. A newfound asteroid will give Earth a close shave on Sunday. And matter of fact, this thing is going to fly through at an incredible just around 22,000 miles away from Earth. That's pretty close, and this thing is huge. How big is it? Earth is about to have, and this is a house-sized asteroid, and again, the space rock is going to fly through here. They say it won't hit Earth, but that's a big one. And it was only discovered on August 31st by the Catalina Sky Surveyor near Tucson, Arizona, and independently detected the next night by the Pan-STARRS 1 telescope located in the summit of Halakea in Maui here in Hawaii. So they say it's going to be close, but it'll happen about, what time is it going to happen? Doesn't say. 0200 GMT. So very, very early in the morning, but that'll be the closest approach. All right, moving on here. White House has named Google veteran Megan Smith as CTO. I thought there was another announcement of a CTO. I guess they did end up picking her. But the president has, again, named longtime Google executive Megan Smith as the government's new CTO, in charge of improving technology and the use of data across agencies. Of course, she was formerly the vice president of new business development at Google, led the company's acquisition of Google Earth, Maps, and Picasa. And so she'll be basically in charge of the IT policy. So got to Google her in the White House now. New cool smart bag charges devices and refuses to get left behind. And this was a Kickstarter project that basically gets you a laptop that has, and get this, has a 26,000 mAh battery in it, allowed to basically enough battery juice to charge a laptop once, or up to 10 or 12 chargers on a smartphone. It's got some technology in it that if you walk away from it, it basically alerts you. So all kinds of cool stuff here in this $199 bag. So we'll see what happens here. The original Kickstarter campaign said the bag would retail between $349 and $449, but the bags available in red and black actually cost more. So how much is it actually going to sell for? Is it $199? Let me load the website up, because I got freaked out there a little bit. Let's see here. Oh my God, these are expensive. So if you want a black and you want PC, holy cow, it's 549 pounds. No, that's euros. Excuse me, euros. 549 euros for a computer bag? I don't care what kind of technology it has in it. That's a lot of money. That's a huge amount of money. Holy smokes. Wow. That's a lot. Well, it better be a great bag for that kind of money. How many of you have left a review in a restaurant? How many of you given a 5-star review? How many of you done a 1-star review? There's a lot of talk now about the online review becoming an all or nothing proposition for businesses, and people are really paying attention to it now if they're using Yelp or a variety of different devices where you can look up a review. I do it myself, especially when I'm traveling, not necessarily when I'm at home, and rely on those a lot. So a lot of businesses are popping up now to, basically troubleshoot bad reviews and try to get those off their site. And but even saying 4-star reviews are kind of a kiss of death for companies as well. How are you grading? I would consider a 3 average service, a 1 to be bad, 5 to be like, oh my goodness, I'm coming back many times when I'm doing reviews. Where do you guys kind of lay the spectrum? Because everyone has a different standard. What I could imagine, if I think back to my teenage years. Some of the things I've experienced as an adult, even that was a mediocre type of a deal when I was a kid, that would have been like a 5-star type of deal. So it all depends on your what your expectations are, where you're at maybe in a stage of life. So I think it's going to be challenging for all of us to read through the reviews and make sure that we don't hurt the company, or when we're writing a review, we don't hurt the company too bad unnecessarily, and at the same time be able to judge reviews objectively to say, yeah, maybe that person had too high expectations or so forth for the type of business or restaurant that it was. So anyway, it's a big article over on Yahoo. Hey, a judge is proposing a January trial for a Silicon Valley employee hiring case. So we'll see, but this is a good deal. They're going to court on this, and they're not going to let them settle. So this is fantastic. And we'll see if they get out more cash and try to settle this before they get to court. Because I don't think the American people or the American population get on a jury trial and they've heard how these guys were colluding to keep salaries down. That just incenses the everyday, Tom and Susie and Joe 40-hour per week worker, or maybe a 60 or 70-hour week worker if your salary, that just incenses people, right? That there was collusion. They're gonna pay big, and these companies have deep wallets. It's gonna cost them, so they know they have to settle this before it goes to trial. And they're gonna have to put a bunch of cash up front to make sure that it's enough to satisfy all the plaintiffs on this. All right, over on Tech Dirt, they've got a tongue-in-cheek article about the miraculous work of the criminal justice system. And all I can say is I read some of these stories, and I said, this can't be true. This can't be true. And you're just reading through some case studies here of where people are essentially railroaded. It's just incredible. It really, really is. So I'll have this link up in the show notes if you want to read about some totally insane cases that where people, went into the jailhouse for one thing and then end up with 25 charges later on non-related stuff and being charged for robbing the place when you're actually sitting in the jail on the same. Basically a place was robbed on Sunday and you were charged and actually went to trial. All kinds of crazy stuff. So anyway, link will be up in the show notes for you to review that if you have an interest. Hey, Google's going to refund $19 million in app purchases made by kids. That was they've been agreed to do that. And so companies agreed, again, to change its billing practice and ensure it obtains informed consent for customers before charging for items sold within mobile apps. Had a little bit of that go on here a couple of days ago, and basically went to my son and said, give me the $17. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, here's the email. And he read it, and next thing I got $17 of his hard-earned chore money in my hand. So, holding them accountable for online purchases that they've used Dad's password on is very, very important. All right, and I'm, of course, a big aviation buff. The United has gone long with its first Dreamliner 787-9. And this will be making runs from Los Angeles to Australia later this year. So some fantastic stuff here. United said that it plans to use a 787-9 on its longest routes. It's going to be doing some initial shakedown flights between Houston and L.A. So if you're flying that route anytime soon, you may end up on a 787-9. Of course, the 787-9 is huge. It's 20 feet longer and flies up to 40 more passengers than the 186-foot-long 787-8. Both planes, including and the forthcoming 787-10, uses 20% less fuel and 20% less emissions than other similarly sized planes. So pretty cool stuff here, and I look forward to being able to fly one of these airplanes someday. I just not doing much flying now, so not going to be the case anytime soon, I don't think. Hootsuite, I use this a lot. It's a great way to do social media blasts and stuff when I need to on multiple sites. But Hootsuite, has purchased BrightKit for Gamefield social marketing campaigns, and doesn't say how much they paid for this, but Hootsuite has raised a lot of venture capital, so they're using some of that money to buy some companies to add to their IP. Dyson has built its first small robot vacuum and is coming to Japan first. And I understand the reason why. Japan, you do not, hasn't been only maybe one or two houses that I've went into in Japan where there's carpeting on the floor. They'll have throw rugs and tatami mats and that type of stuff. But Dyson is bringing their new, small vacuum cleaner that's basically an automated bot type of vacuum cleaner to Japan first. And there's a picture of it compared to Roomba. They say it's got 100 times the suction power as a Roomba. That's pretty impressive. And it's got some videos on tests they've done and on the technology being used and the vacuum test. Pretty cool little devices. If I had hardwood floors, which I do in my house, but I got too many carpets that are laying down as well, I might consider one of these little bad boys to run around the house when I'm not here and do the floors for us. All right, Getty has sued Microsoft over its new online photo tool, and basically one of the new Microsoft products that allow website publishers to embed digital photographs on their sites is a massive infringement of copyright, according to Getty. And they filed a lawsuit in federal court basically saying, hey, you got to stop this. They've been trying to work with Microsoft for over a year, but the Bing image widget released on August 22nd gives publishers the ability to create a panel on their website that displays digital images supplied by Microsoft's Bing search engine, according to the lawsuit. Rather than draw from a pool of licensed images, a license claim the product grants access to billions of images that can be found online without regard to whether the photos are copyrighted or there's proper attribution. So we'll see where this one goes. And Microsoft gives a standard can. Well, we're going to make sure we're not infringing, blah, 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 blah. So that'll be up in the show notes. There's also if you get that privacy or that lockdown, I should have had this earlier. If you get that lockdown questionnaire from Facebook, Gizmodo has put up a complete guide to locking down your privacy settings. So when that little thing pops up, they've walked you through the screens, gives you some idea what to click or not click according to your settings that you want. This is funny. Now let me see if I can bring the other camera up here. In Hawaii, we have these things that are called geckos. Oops, wrong camera. Let's see if I can bring it up. Oh, you can't see him. He's too small to see on the screen. I caught moving out the side of my eye, and I had a gecko that was walking across the wall. They come in, and I really... they eat the bugs, but... yeah, they don't care where they crap. So I usually, they're harmless. I catch them and I put them back outside. But invariably, we'll always have one or two that are coming into the house. And but they hang out where the lights are. And, they're there to grab the bugs that are coming in and swarming around the lights. But that's one of the benefits of living in Hawaii is dealing with geckos. And not the kind that are on the Geico commercial. It's this is a, oh, there he is. He's back there. He's just a baby one, too. He's maybe 1.5 inches long by, a quarter of an inch wide or something. He's still a tiny one, so he's probably hungry and growing. All right, WordPress 4.0 has been released, and if you're a WordPress user, you'll get the notification next time you log into your site that needs updated. I updated Geek News Central already. Everything looks like it's working good, but they've made some improvements to embeds and the media files. and some of the editing stuff and allow you to focus on content editing and so forth. Apparently, editing is smoother and more immersive. We'll find out today when I do the article. But they've also made it easier to access plugins. But it's 4.0. Every time they do a release, they up the number. The next one will be 4.1. This is not a completely brand new rev with a bunch of crazy stuff. Again, it's just from 3.9 to 4, and there's a full list of enhancements and so forth. So anyway, we'll see where this leads. Next with 4.1. Twitter has required TwitPic to shut down over trademark issues. So there's some trademark turmoil, and basically Twitter said you need to cease and desist. And so if you've used TwitPic, it's going away. Make sure that you get your pictures downloaded. They're going to be shutting down on September 25th. So you've got 20 days or so here to get your pictures off TwitPic. Tesla has announced that they have selected a production location. So they're going to be working in Nevada. Tesla's going to need to expand production. Its goal of selling $35,000 electric vehicle by 2017. And it again announced the plans for a new plant in Nevada that will help it get there. Several states were in the running to host the Gigafactory and its 6,500 jobs, but Elon Musk and company have chosen to put down roots in Reno. So they also approved a $1.25 billion tax incentive package to make the deal stick. According to Elon Musk, the factory will use solar, wind, and geothermal, produce all the energy it needs as a net zero energy factory, and it's supposed to produce 50 gigawatts in annual battery production by 2020, enough to power 500,000 Tesla cars. I'm going to tell you, if they do a 35K Tesla, that gets me in striking range, ladies and gentlemen. It does. It probably won't be as fabulous as their S models, but 35K is the price, a lot of us pay for new cars. So by 2017, that'll put my CX-9 at 7 years, probably wait an additional year to get 8th year. Yeah, I could see a $35,000 Tesla in my future. Of course, that's probably the base price, but kind of some potential here. Hey, Google has unveiled the Cartographer. It's an indoor mapping backpack, and I can't imagine being the poor guy that would have to carry this thing because it looks heavy. It looks really, really heavy. The backpack with it's just huge. But it's got a battery on it and everything, a computer and a thing to take pictures. But they're basically going to walk through a building and the floor plan is automatically generated. So, I just can't imagine being the poor sap that has to carry it. It doesn't look too bad when someone's carrying it, but it still looks heavy. And I don't know how they get they probably have some stabilizers in there to deal with the jaunting that happens by most of us as we walk. All right, next thing up, Apple said to be negotiating deep payment discounts from big banks. So they're trying to reach deals to lower card transaction fees with 5 of the largest financial institutions in the nation as part of Silicon Valley Giants pre-launch. Silicon Valley. All right, they're just trying to lower their payments. So they're working with J.P. Morgan, American Express, Chase, Citigroup, Capital One, and Bank of America. And can you imagine just lowering a few points on your processing fee? How much money you would save? Apple's managed to bump down the Aftercard preset rates by 15 to 25 base points already. Normal card presents discount rates which are generally, they pay 1.5 to 3%. But we'll see where they get this knocked down to. Every point is more cash in their pocket. All right, dads, you got a young boy or a very inquisitive young girl in your household. There's a new toy. It's a playset that teaches your kids how to take care of a real car. So this is pretty cool. It's basically lets your kids tear the car apart and put it back together. It's $120 and comes with some tools, but the kids can take them apart and have a lot of fun with them. So you're out working on your car, and the kids want to duplicate what you're doing, which they often do. You can get them one of these sets. As as a dad, I think any of these types of things where you have some interactive play, where you're actually hands-on, screwing stuff, turning stuff, it's good. It's really good. I had hours and hours, and this is really going back, but an erector set. Oh my God, I had a lot of fun with the erector set when I was a kid. It just hours and hours of fun building stuff. So this kind of cool interactive stuff, I really like this. It's available for kids. Also, did you guys hear? And I heard this on, I don't know, I heard it in passing someplace, that ophthalmologists are starting to see folks that spend a lot of time in front of computer screens, that their lens is aging faster than what they would expect. Like they're seeing people in 30s and 40s that their lenses in their eyes are like the equivalent of an 80-year-old. Has something to do with the light on the monitors, and they're really now worried about kids having too much tablet time, eye problems because of that. We're not designed to be sitting here staring. We're supposed to be looking around and changing our environment. Instead, what do? We look at screens all day long, and some of that. They're saying that some of the blue pixelation is part of the issue. It's kind of concerning to me to hear about that. I go to the my family. My dad had basically it's when you have high pressure, it can cause glaucoma. So my family has a history of that. So it's why I go to ophthalmologist every year and get a pressure check and have the full thing done. And I think it's important to get an eye check, and especially tells your ophthalmologist can talk about your eye health. And I'm taking a supplement now as well because of some of the things that the doctors recommended for me. But with these eye issues, our kids are introduced to tablets at such a young age and computers. I didn't have that. It could be something very serious down the road. So we really need to start looking at this. And parents, maybe, especially your younger kids, try to limit that tablet time as much as possible. You used to say that, the TV would make us go blind, but it's something to do with the proximity of the monitor and some of the blue pixelation they feel is causing the issue. At least that was the gist of the findings that I heard about from the television or from a radio or something. Also, Lifehacker's got a cool way to test your batteries if they're dead by dropping them. And you never heard about this? Me neither. I'll have the link up in the show notes. You can check it out. Also, one thing that has been kind of annoying to me in testing Android devices is really the menuing system. That seems to be the biggest pain to me. But some people are saying that when they add an app, they don't want it automatically added to your home screen. Well, what's the sense of adding an app if you don't want it to your home screen? I don't want to go dig for it later, but I guess there's a setting in settings. You can turn that off. I don't fully understand that, why people would do that. But, I guess if you're organization freak and want to keep stuff buried, that's why. But there's an article on that. Okay, and I think that's going to wrap us up here for the night for content. Let me go ahead and get into the email. What have we got? Hey, chat room. Andre, thanks for being on board tonight. All right, didn't get too much stuff. I got an email from Tim, and he actually put this in Facebook. Let me load this up, load this article that he had. Tim basically sent me a link. It says, Microsoft defies court order, will not give emails to the U.S. government. I think we talked about this. But despite a federal court order directing Microsoft to turn overseas held email to federal authorities, the software giant said Friday it will continue to withhold that data. So that was on Facebook, but the original site was windowsitpro.com. But I'll have the link up in the show notes for you guys to check out so that you can get the full details. So, Tim, thanks for sending me that on Facebook. And I don't know if I read this last article or not. I got an article. Did I read this on the last show? No, because it came in after. Let's see, look at the date. Yeah. I got an email from DJ. And DJ is a longtime listener of the show. And DJ is paralyzed. And I was kind of sharing a little bit with DJ what happened to me in 2004 and how I was really very, very lucky not to have been paralyzed from about the waist down with an injury I had on my L1 vertebrae. And, I talked about that incident where I got hurt on a water slide and basically went down the water slide in fetal position and dumped off into a pool. And if my buddies hadn't been there, I'd have probably either paralyzed myself getting out of the pool or drowned, one of the two. And DJ talks a little bit about, what happened to him and his accident. I won't go into those details here, but he wanted to talk just a little bit about the ALS deal. And as I kind of reminded you guys on the last show, there's a lot of charities out there where you can donate your money. And I think it's important that we all make sure that, it's good to donate a variety of different places. I'm not denying what they've done with ALS Challenge at all, but we want people to support charities and we want them to spread things out a little bit if you can. There's a lot of folks out there a lot of studying that needs to be done. You look at the Christopher Reeves Foundation and the variety of things that go for spinal cord injuries. You look at the Wounded Warrior Project, all these different groups that are buying for the limited number of cash dollars we have to give each year. But we want to make sure that we remember those other worthwhile causes out there. So if you've done the ALS thing, great, congratulations. I'm glad that you have, and I hope that you wrote them a nice check. But at the same time, let's not forget about the charities out there. So definitely, DJ, thanks for the email. I did not realize your condition. I appreciate you as a listener of this show, and thank you for sending me that. It was a long email, it really was, and I definitely appreciate your feedback. And I wanted to, kind of summarize what you had said here to the audience, but I do appreciate that. And again, thanks for being a fan of the show. And we got to remember that too. We've got people that are blind that listen to the show, and Mika out on the East Coast is a longtime fan of the show. Been here really from the beginning. He's one of our Ohana members. He contributes to the show each month as well. And of course, the more I learn about the audience, like DJ and his condition, I know we have another paralyzed listener that was a gunshot victim during a robbery that listens to this show, has listened for many years. So, we have a number of folks that have a disability, and we need to keep, again, all those great charities that support those folks out there, and be very, for those of us that are on our 2 feet walking around healthy, be thankful that we are. I did just want to update you, doing well on bringing the poundage off. I actually had someone that I hadn't seen in a while today actually pat me on my stomach and said, "Man, you losing some weight?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And actually, I just wanted to say this. I'm not perfect yet. It's still a little tight, but for those of you watching, I'm wearing a shirt that I have not worn in 5 years. This is a Tommy Bahama Hawaiian shirt. It is. It was. These shirts cost $100, and I have like 3. I get like one a year, and I haven't. And I wasn't going to throw it away, so I had it packaged up and kept safe where it's nice. These are absolutely fantastic Aloha shirts. So when I put this on, I pulled this. I wonder if this will fit, because it's an XL, not an XXL. And I put it on. I'm like, it's still a little tight, but 2 months ago there'd have been no way. I'd have been blowing the buttons out on this thing. So when you're getting into clothes that you haven't been able to wear for a while, it's going good. So I want to remind you guys what I'm doing. And I'm very happy with the results. Actually had some blood work done by my doctor recently as well, and she made some positive comments about where we're at with the cholesterol and everything else. So myperium.com/podcast, using the promo code podcast will get you $50 off your order. And we've had a number of people that have used one of those coupon codes. We encourage you to do so and try the 10-day challenge, and then go on the 20-day. I'm about ready to start, I think, my third full 10-day run. I'm going to go through and do a full 10-day run again. But it's good, and bringing the weight off is even better. So anyway, I've talked long enough here, and I'm crap. I've kept this long. It's okay. It's a podcast, right? And I wasn't with you on Monday, so I know you had extra time to listen today. So everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the Ohana. We want to hear from you. We really do. And again, it's just like DJ that sent his email to me. It's cool to get to know DJ a little better and learn his story, and share your story and introduce me to yourself so that I get to know you better as part of this audience. So everyone, thanks. Email me here, geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, you can reach me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+. And there's even a way to leave a voice comment directly on the website. Feel free to do that as well. And you'll see the Geek News Central site start to transition over the weekend when I finally pull the trigger. It's going to be a mess for the first couple of hours, but I've got a transition plan, and got all the stuff scripted out on how I'm going to boom, 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 boom initially, and then there'll be a adjust and rewrite and restack, and you'll probably come to the site and it'll change every couple of hours as I'm initially doing the rollout. But it's been my pleasure to bring this show to you today. I want to thank you for being here and part of the Ohana. Tune in on Saturday if you want to for the new media show. Don't forget about the Gadget Professor, about the Elder Divide, Robot Underpants, all the great shows here, htweekly.com. Thanks to all of you for being here. We'll see you next time. Everyone, take care next time. Aloha. I'm pushing the wrong button, those of you on YouTube. So the YouTube stream is still up. Let me start this. All right. Andres, feedback says, Andrew says, in the past years, I've dropped from a 38 waist to a 34. Amazing with clothes I've still got that I can now wear. Very, very cool. Yeah, we all got to quit eating junk. That's my weakness. Man, I tell you what, you know what I really cut back on? What my biggest thing was? Reese Cups. Man, I love Reese Cups. That Snickers, just cutting those out that's been the biggest, oh my God. And so what I've done now is, I used to have 2-3 Mountain Dews a week, maybe 4. I'm limited myself to 1 Mountain Dew a week. 1. And also those extra calories and alcohol. So, trying not to, because just so much extra sugar and booze. And I don't deny myself having a cocktail once in a while, but the junk food, man, chips and all that stuff, peanuts. Oh gosh, it's just the stuff that you really want to eat, but you can't. You're not, or you have to do in limited quantities. It's like I get 5 macadamia nuts, and it's like you eat one and you chew it until it's crazy. It sucks having to lose weight. And if you're listening to this part of the show on YouTube, this isn't part of the regular podcast. Just don't get fat in the beginning. Eat healthy when you're younger. Because it just comes on later. It just sucks big time. All right, YouTube. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in late. I definitely appreciate you guys for hanging out. Thanks. We'll see you next time. Aloha.